Hello, hello, beautiful friends. As promised, bringing you the update. It's been a while since I've done a vlog update, although technically I kind of did allude to this in one of the other videos, but I feel like I'm finally in a place where, hindsight's 2020. I can see all of the benefits of the experience and I'm ready to share after feeling I've mostly processed everything. So yeah, vlog updates are a little bit different than my regular videos. Technically, the channel is designed for conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are looking to remove the blocks that hold them back from their purpose so that they can manifest abundance and assist in creating heaven on earth. It will always continue to be that. But I like to share. I like to be real. I like you to know that I'm a real person. The only difference between me and you is a camera and a microphone. Other than that, I am human. I do all human things. I make mistakes. I have failed. I have tried. I have picked myself up again and I have failed again. And I will continue to do so. And reminding you that no matter how far we go, no matter how high we climb, no matter how much we achieve, we will always be human. And it's important to be accessible, to be relatable, not relatable as in like, be relatable, like it's inauthentic, right? To be accessible, right? I want you to know me and I want to know you. I know sometimes people are on YouTube because they don't want to be seen. They like to just consume content and go on about their day. So that's fine too. I feel you. I know you in spirit. If you would like to connect with us, I do have a live masterclass on Friday where we're going to see everybody live in Zoom, which would be awesome and amazing because I love to get to know the community. So I'd love to see you there. Link below. Otherwise, you can just get to know me. And when you're ready, I'll be here with open arms if you finally come to a place where you're ready to be seen and show your beautiful face and soul to me as well. So, vlog update. Where have we been? I can't even remember. I think, gosh, can't remember the last topic of the vlog prior to this. So you'll just have to go back and check that out. But I know it's been quite a while, quite a few months, I believe. And all was going well. Everything has been trucking along, things are growing slowly but surely. Clients are healing and the process that I offer is growing and expanding. So I haven't really had anything major to bring to you. No major changes, no major hiccups, which is awesome, right? Life is stable, life is healthy. The trajectory is stable and moving in the right direction. And then all of the sudden, March 16th, the day before what was supposed to be the luckiest day of the year, which is known as St. Patrick's Day in the United States, I got in a car accident. And I won't go into the details of it. We'll just say that someone pulled out in front of me and I was not able to stop fast enough. And that will be tied up in legalities for a while. So we'll see how that goes. But that's not really the point. The point is, it was shocking. It was very shocking. And, life has been very stable, very good, moving in the right direction, everything I could ask for, all needs met, no complaints. And, I felt that while I've been, I've been putting a lot of effort into the business, especially in 2022. I have to take a minute to remember what year we're in. I probably overworked in 2022. I certainly and that's all relative, right? It wasn't too much more than 40 hours, but when you added in the master's program, it was virgin on 60 hours, and that's a lot. And that's a lot for a single mom with 3 kids, building a business, primarily caring for the kids the vast majority of the time. Um, and I was receiving the message to slow down, and I was heeding the message as far as I could tell. And yet I really feel like this experience was sort of the smack on the forehead, but like, no, you're not getting it. That's not slow enough. You have to go slower, more slowly, more slowly, more slowly. That's kind of what it felt like. It was like I was slowing down and it still wasn't enough. And it was like, okay, I'll slow down a little more, still not enough, right? And it took the universe yanking my car out from under me. And I will say, I won't go into the details of it, but it did not feel like your average day. It felt orchestrated. We'll put it that way. And I don't know what I can and can't say, so I can't dig into the specifics on that. Someday I will be able to. Um, but I know that this happened for a reason. And it was very confusing. One, it was shocking physically. It was also shocking emotionally to feel like, okay, I'm could not be listening any more closely. I could not be acting more in alignment with my guidance. I felt like I was doing everything right. I felt like I was listening, and I still had to go through this very harsh experience. And it really kicked up a lot of dust. And at the time, the sun was in the 12th house. My birthday was April 4th. And so it really, um, there was all sorts of 12th house things brought up by that. And if you don't know astrology, but 12th house is sort of your subconscious, your deepest, darkest fears. It's kind of like the closet, right? Where do your shadows live? All the things you're afraid of that we kind of hide and bury in the subconscious doesn't allow us to see because it's too scary. And a lot of those things were brought up by that accident, including reactivation of some of my trauma from my childhood that I thought I had moved through. In fact, I would say this was one of the first things that I felt I overcame. And what became apparent was, because it was one of the first things, it was in the earlier stages of the trauma healing, I began to gloss over it as if, we've already healed that. And there are layers to healing, and there are layers to energy. If you think about energy and the way it moves, it's secular, and it moves up, right? So when we move through something and then we find ourselves coming kind of coming back to that place again, we say, but I healed that already. I moved through that already. I've resolved that wound. I've resolved that fear. I overcame that block. And it is very easy for the trauma brain, especially, to tell you, no, you failed at that. You didn't do that well. You didn't do that good enough. Right. And what I discovered through this experience is that there are new levels, right? That while it seemed that I was re experiencing this trauma from childhood, it was a new level. And what I also noticed is, in the pullback of that sort of what felt like a regression, it was actually kind of like a catapult, like a rubber band. That pullback catapulted me forward and brought even greater levels of teaching and sharing and healing abilities that my community needed. And that's why I'm doing this masterclass on Friday, because the core foundation of what we manifest in our lives is directly related to our self-worth, our self-concept. And if you look at whether it's complex trauma, traditional trauma, conditioning and programming, doesn't matter. If you don't identify as having the big T, that's fine. It's you, I'm sure you can tell, 85%, this is known, documented statistic, 85% of the US population has poor self-esteem. If we are manifestors and we're creating all the time, we are creating on autopilot. If we don't realize that we're a manifestor, we're creating more of the same from the past. As we step into the healing, we step into our awareness around our ability and how to use the magic that we have been given. Numbers keep popping up that are just confirming everything that I'm saying, which is awesome. As we step into that, we can start to consciously manifest. And what this gift of a car accident brought to me was, my childhood wound was the original, pastor in your face going, you're a sinner, you're shameful, you're going to hell, repent. How dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself, right? That feeling of my father being repulsed by me, right? And so that, of course, created this need for perfectionism, this need for perfecting myself, the need for doing everything perfect. And what that led to was walking on eggshells, right? And as always, our trauma will have a benefit and it will have a downfall. So for me, the benefit of that was perfecting my craft, perfecting the business, being as good as I could possibly be, and over delivering and being authentic and being real and never saying anything wrong, right? That's good for the business. That's good for healing. That's good for this community. That's good for you as the receiver, because I'm going to be really meticulous in making sure that I'm bringing to you 100% fact. right? And there's times that I have failed. There's times that I have quoted something I shouldn't have, and I don't have the evidence to support that. And I apologize in advance and in retrospect, right? Because the beauty of the car accident, we all make mistakes, right? Maybe I should have been going a little slower. Maybe I should have been looking right instead of left. Maybe the dark car should have pulled my attention instead of the light car, right? I can replay this over and over and over ad nauseum, beating the crap out of myself until I feel like a piece of dirt, which is kind of what my father did to me. Or we can settle back into our body. We can know that we are more than enough. We are more than okay. That is where this masterclass came from. Everything in this masterclass coming up on Friday is going to be all about the remembering of our wholeness, the remembering of our divinity, the remembering the embodiment of our perfection without doing anything to shift and change who we are. Because we are imperfect. We are perfectly imperfect for our purpose. And I've been saying it all along, but I wasn't giving myself that grace. And to realize, yep, car accidents happen. Mistakes happen. In fact, in my product development lifetime, which will still come back around, but it was known humans make mistakes. You count on it, guaranteed. Plan it into the plan. A mistake will be made. That doesn't mean the business doesn't sell products. It doesn't mean there's not a return on investment. It doesn't mean that the person that made the mistake gets fired. No, you made a mistake. And that's okay, right? You're imperfect. That's on purpose. Your imperfection actually makes you more relatable, more accessible, more real, more authentic, right? We look up to people in our lives, people in the world, whoever we have put on a pedestal, and we somehow think that their perfection is unattainable. And then we beat ourselves up over it. If at any point in your life you had someone who criticized you and told you you weren't enough, that became your voice, especially if it happened in those early years, 0 to 7, 0 to 14. I find are usually kind of where that childhood trauma solidifies, but it can happen in toxic relationships later in life as well. But that voice of unworthiness, the inner critic, the negative thought patterns, I like to call it my little trauma demon. You can call it Bob. It doesn't really matter. But when that voice berates you, what you don't realize is that is an aspect of you. It's a fractured part of you. It is the taskmaster, but it was trained by someone else. It's not authentic. It's not yours. And we really have to look at why. What measuring stick am I measuring myself by? And how do we heal that? And that's what I'm going into on Friday. It's going to be awesome and amazing. I'm so excited because this is so inspired and there's so much just flowing through. Because like I was saying earlier, we don't manifest what we want. We don't manifest what we desire. We manifest who we think we are. And if there's any ounce of, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve that, I haven't earned it, I'm not perfect enough, we won't get what it is we were put here to manifest, right? Your desires are put on your heart for a reason by the divine to guide you towards your purpose and the thing that you are here to do, the gift you are here to give to the world. But we stopped trusting ourselves because we thought we weren't worthy. You can trust the guidance of your desires. You can trust that you are worthy no matter what. No level of imperfection disqualifies your worthiness. So yeah, it was a harsh experience. It felt a bit abrupt, but I was never going to slow down if I didn't have my car yanked out from under me. I never would have stopped going to the gym 5 times a week. I would have never found rides for my kids to get to school or get to sports. I would have never taken a nap or rested for 3 days straight like I did immediately after that accident. I would have never started listening to my body and what it needed instead of choosing my food or drink from my head. I would have never found the depths and the embodiment of a greater sense of self-worth and self-value had that not happened. I never would have fully healed the original wound had that not happened. And I can tell you this, I have a greater sense of peace, a greater sense of knowing, a greater sense of ease, a greater sense of rest. I have permission to just be. Because while I'm not perfect and I never will be perfect, I am officially surrendering the battle and the fight to perfect myself. I'm no longer running away from the fear of making a mistake. I'll make mistakes. I am flawed. And I am very much okay with that. And I hope and wish and pray for every single one of you that you will find that place too. Because there are no words to explain the profound stillness and rest and ease and peace that comes with just being okay. Being okay with who you are, being okay with where you're at, being okay with life, choosing to be happy no matter what. Everyone deserves to live in this place. And I hope that you'll join me on Friday so that you can too. That feels complete. I love you, my friends, so, so much. I hope you know that. And I would love to see you on Friday live on Zoom. And if you're shy, you don't have to show up. You can just pop in and keep your camera off, or you can watch the replay. It doesn't matter. And if you're not already part of the community and you would rather put the funds, because it's the same cost, $20, towards joining the community, you can do that. And you will get access not only to this masterclass, but I will be doing monthly, or at least every 6 to 8 weeks, we'll be doing a masterclass, and you will automatically have access to the masterclasses when you are part of the community. So links below for either the masterclass or the community. We would love to see you there. As I said earlier, I want to love on you. So please allow me to do that. Please open to receive. I'm working towards making things even more financially accessible. I'm probably going to be launching a new program that is not thousands of dollars anymore. So I really want to make everything as accessible as possible. I am even considering just one-off trauma spotting sessions. So I talk a lot about brain spotting. I'm using the new name trauma spotting because I do have my own spin to it, and it makes more sense to call it trauma spotting through source tapping, which is also known by the acronym TEST, TSST. So yeah, just reach out if you want to know anything more about healing, learning, growing, sharing, community, loving on each other. All of these things are available here. All right. I love you, my friends. Namaste. I will see you soon, and take care, my loves.